So Darren, you're on the lived experience leadership.
Yes.
Which is very important. Thank you.
And what a great way to end. Hopefully, I shouldn't say hopefully, we are absolutely going to draw this all together, because this really, to me, and I use this as the roadmap, because that data really, I hadn't seen it before. It was probably available. I get a lot of emails. A lot of PDFs come my way, and I'm a little backlogged. When I read it last night, and last night I really did look at it, that drove how I wanted to actually work with our very large lived and living leadership participant group, because this is the only way that we're going to change this. Is it's not okay, as Simon said, as as Russell said, this is not okay. But we need leadership at every level. So I want to thank Dee and Sonia. I can't see you, but you're here. Oh, there. There's a lot of nuggets of gold. So these are only three. Yeah, there's only three there. There's 8 pages of handwritten. The Padlet is full. I'm hoping that. How long does the Padlet stay open, Russell? A week. So please, if you feel that your voice wasn't heard, if you're like me, and today with your brain, and I consider my brain inside a little snow globe, it's a little shaken up today, whether by participating, whether you did it to yourself or some of us may have done it, please jump into that Padlet. We will really look at that, those comments, and really look at how the output of it is. That, to me, that's why I came today, was action. And I want to thank everybody that participated, because it was such a lively discussion in the most respectful and peer and lived space that I've ever been in. Large group. And we had pioneers. You know who you are. We had people that are just considering coming into the careers, just imagining that space. Carers, clinicians, other people that sat quietly and listened. Which is equally as important. So what we've come up with, and this is not the answer. We don't have the answer. That was one of the main topics that came up, was this is complex. As soon as we take a singular approach, modality, medication approach, we're going to miss it. But what we did come up with is looking at that. It's about turning, and this was in a direct quote, is turning stumbling blocks into stepping stones. Everyone must claim their leadership. And we actually practiced that accidentally in the space, because people eventually jumped up and said, I've got a question. Ooh, fantastic. Claim that, because this is where you find your voice. And when we create safe spaces, which this was, that's why I disclosed I was an American. When you can claim that space, you can claim that space and say, I have a question, or I've got something to say about that. You've got an awful lot to say, and I love the conversation, but turning stumbling blocks, because that's what it feels like. I've fallen flat on my face many a times, until you turn around and you look and you go, well, actually, I can step on that, and I can rise myself. But to me, leadership is about, again, once we get up there, don't get too far up before we start looking down and going, well, who else is out here, and how do I put out a hand that maybe wasn't there for me when I was in my early careers as a peer or in a lived experience position? The power of mentoring. So that's it. We need real mentoring. It's happening accidentally. It's happening clinically, and I'm not saying that that's not a bad thing. We have some very skilled clinicians that may be doing it right, and if that's something that's working for that peer or that workforce, absolutely. But I want that workforce to say, hey, this is what we need as far as mentoring, and then we need to listen and say, we're going to provide support, structure, frameworks around building that mentoring platform for them. Because it's just supervision, coming right back to supervision. And I think I hear supervision probably once a day for the past 6 years. And that's why I appreciated the group that came together, because we know this stuff. We've heard this for years and years and years. The thing is, we've got some money that's come our way in New South Wales and hopefully here as well. We need to take ownership of this now and make this real supervision, real lived experience, and definitely from a peer support worker space. We need supervision. Say it with me. We need supervision, because that's the activism. Because when you don't get it, we become frustrated. When I get frustrated, I take to the streets. I gather like minded, and I'm like, I've asked quietly. Now I'm going to raise my voice a little. Now I'm going to stand up a little bit more until we're heard. So we need supervision. There's no doubt about that because the peers are coming to me going, and there's those of us that have stepped up into some of those accidental roles. There's not enough of us, and we're going to burn out. Finally, nurturing your own leadership space. So that's just, again, owning this. You are a leader. I took an informal poll I was quite happy that about half the participants put their hand up and they claimed that leadership space. They owned it. Now, it was also contentious. There was a lot of, and I want to honor that, was the fact that this word leadership denotes power. And for some of us, we go, well, there shouldn't be. But yet others would step up and say, yeah, but we are working in spaces and we're at systems levels at every level. And I'm being led and I'm not being, and I don't have so we have to honor that all of this is important, that it can be a contentious word. I wanted us to define that, and which we did, but collectively, this is where we then come together to go, well, I have a lived experience of trauma. I'm a male, I'm white, I'm American, I've disclosed. And how can I use my unique skill set, lived and living experiences to join with you so that we can address these problems that are not okay? So please add your nuggets of wisdom to the Padlet. And I want to thank all of you. It's been an amazing 2 days. Thank you.